The last time we went Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Championship racing on RacerTV, the proceedings were dominated by Joel Hetrick as the young kid out of Ohio swept both motos on a beautiful race day at Muddy Creek. But today, it truly will be a muddy race, and we'll see if the 88 can hang with the big dogs when the conditions get nasty. RacerTV is next. Hello everyone and welcome to RacerTV's coverage of the 2013 Mountain Dew ATV Pro Motocross Championships. Today, the Maxis Bluegrass National. And just outside of Bowling Green, Kentucky, we are at Ballance MX. This place is operated by the family of 9-time Grand National Cross Country ATV champion Bill Ballance. Certainly the motocross track lends itself to great ATV racing. It's a big, wide racetrack. Should be fun to watch. The top riders and teams are here, and it will be interesting to see how they do battle because something else is here with us as well as you watch multi-time series champ John Natale here signing some autographs for fans. Bad weather is en route as well. So this is going to mix things up quite a bit. We did have a mud race earlier in the year, but this one might be even worse than that. That race dried out actually earlier in the day, and by Moto 2 is pretty good. You see the rain coming down here? Well, it's going to take some strategy, boys.
All right, we're getting ready to get the bike ready for the mud race this weekend, it looks like. Rain coming down, it's going to be nice and slick out there. Basically, just grooving some tires, putting some big tires on, siping them up. Siping is basically taking a razor blade and putting lines through them, trying to get that little extra bit of traction out there. Normally in the mud, I do pretty well, so, you know, it's finesse in the mud, so we'll see what happens. Maybe this weekend I'll be able to pull it out and come out on top. I'm ready to go, and I was kind of hoping for a nice dry weekend. But, you know, let's go in the mud. We'll see what happens.
Josh Creamer here at Ballance MX. Looking like we got another mud race coming up this weekend, but, you know, we just try to stay consistent out there on the track, run smooth lines, stay wide usually, and try to find any traction possible out there. But basically, you just got to really be smooth, lug the bike around, and just try to ride smart. And, you know, it takes a lot of luck to get up on the podium, so hopefully we get some this weekend because I'd like to be up on the box this weekend, so we'll see how it goes.
Definitely starting to get a little rain here at round 3 in Ballance. So far this year we've been doing pretty good in the mud. Came out of the first race with a second in the first moto and it was super muddy, so plan to go out there and hopefully knock off a win, or at least get up on that podium. Basically a mud race, just try to salvage as many points as I can and come out on the podium. It'd just be awesome. See how it goes.
We're going to put some big tires on. We duct taped the front bumper up, keep some mud out of the radiator. I'm pretty decent in the mud. I had a first place Moto 1 in the pass, and hopefully we can at least get on the podium this weekend. Prepared, we got roll-offs, the bike's ready, I'm ready, so just waiting to race.
All right, when it comes to being a mud rider, you just got to be smart, and you got to run that, try to find that drier line. And this year I've done really well, and last year we actually didn't have any mud races, but this year we've already had one and ended up taking the win. So just staying consistent. So we're gonna go out and put it out there and try and get a good start and see what we can do.
Well, certainly a challenge ahead of these top riders. Since so many of the events, though, are based on the East Coast, even though, as Chad Wienen said, last year we dodged a lot of bullets and didn't have that many mudders, or any mudders. For the most part, this is something that happens a few times each year. So these riders have a lot of experience dealing with it. We're not racing in the desert, we're racing here in Tennessee. So anyone who comes from this neck of the woods has raced on this type of surface, on these types of conditions before. You see everyone doing some burnouts on the concrete starting pad to try to dry it out, heat the tire up, and get ready to go because the start is so critical in a mudder. And that's why it's critical. Josh Upperman didn't get the start, and now he can see nothing heading into the first turn. These guys going to be pulling tear-offs or roll-offs on their goggles for clear vision. Chad Wienen in the lead on the Yamaha, and it's a Can-Am in second, so I'm going to guess that's Josh Kramer. Yes, it is, on the number 9. And Thomas Brown, Wienen's teammate, up to third, and this might be the last time these machines are clean enough to pick out the numbers. Actually, the good news is you see the raindrops on the camera. By race time, most of the riders would actually prefer that it keep rainy because then at least the mud can wash off. Nothing is worse than a deluge and then the rain stops when the race begins, because then it begins to dry out during the race. You're still going to be struggling for traction, but all that mud is going to stick to the machine and make things heavier and, of course, make it harder to see as well. Wienen leading the way. You saw the graphic. The battle for second is on. Brown sandwiched between Kramer and Hetrick. So the SSI Decals Whole Shot Award goes to Wienen. He knows how critical a start is in a mudder, just for vision's sake, but also it's very tough to pass. You heard Wienen in our pre-race interview talk about find that dry line. Everyone's going to stick to one main line in these mud races, and they're actually going to throw the mud from that line to the outside of the corner. So if you try to go outside someone and make something happen, make a pass, the mud is only going to be deeper. Brown now up to second, so it's a Yamaha 1-2. And everyone else just back here trying to figure out where they are going and where the leaders are. Stay with us.
Find your flow with Maxxis tires.
RacerTV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com, by Can-Am, and by Maxxis. Well, you better have your Maxxis tires hooked up today because it is a mud race. Chad Wienen grabbed the whole shot and is gone. And he's got a big enough lead where we can just focus on this battle for second. Brown, Hetrick, and Kramer. Kramer was second earlier. And things will change in a hurry. One mistake, which is very easy to make on a slick track like this, is all that it takes. You can see Kramer certainly got the speed. He's still with these guys, Brown and Hetrick. So those positions could flip-flop. And everyone talked about consistency for the day. You see a little mistake from Brown. Hetrick trying to open the door. That's critical. I don't know if anyone, obviously Wienen's out front. He wants to win this thing because he has the lead. But I don't know if anyone comes out on a muddy race day, if you're battling for the championship, and says, I must win this race. The real goal is to not lose it. Don't blow it. Don't lose a ton of points by not finishing. So consistency is order of the day number 1, and then going fast is number 2. Now, Wienen has handled both of those things, and you can't say he didn't earn it. Yes, he got the start, but he's got such a big lead now. He clearly is the fastest rider on the track. It's not just the fact that they can't pass him because they can't see or because there isn't any running room. It looks like Brown has pulled away a tiny little bit from Hetrick, and then Kramer trying to run those outside lines, trying to find something different. And that might just be to stay out of that roost zone. These ATVs will really sling it up. Wienen sitting on the back of the seat there, sitting straight up in some of these sections, trying to load the rear tires, get as much traction as he can out of the corners. And the track looks to be drying out just a little bit from where it was earlier. The rain has stopped, and that's what I mentioned at the top of the moto. The traction will get a little bit better, but the vision sometimes actually gets worse as things dry out and more mud will stick to the machines. Now, everyone has their techniques. They'll run some duct tape on the bumpers, so the mud will at least collect to that. You see the front of Wienen's machine is just solid. The duct tape on there, let the mud confine itself to the bumper instead of getting in every nook and cranny within the chassis of the machine, and you can cut down on how much weight you collect. Now, it's interesting, Wienen leading the points and has an overall win this year, but this would be his first moto win of the season if he can hang on, and it looks like the big man from Galena, Illinois is about to do that He goes wire to wire, and Chad Wienen wins Moto number 1 here at the Maxxis Bluegrass National, and his teammate Thomas Brown second. That's very helpful for the points for that squad, and now the work begins. They got to clean these machines off and try to get ready for Moto number 2. It's going to be hard to figure out the diagnosis, and look at that. That is Kramer, I believe, just got mud in his eyes. What do you expect in a race like this? If you don't get the start, you are going to be struggling. I don't care what type of goggles you have. Hard to make it to the finish with clean vision. We'll be back with more.
When it's time to get ready to ride and you need gear, it's time to go to RockyMountainATV.com. With the largest selection of ATV parts, apparel, and accessories, we have what you need at deep discounts. We have a huge state-of-the-art facility that ensures your order ships out quickly with accuracy that's second to none. Most items ship free and arrive at your door in 3 days or less. Visit our industry-leading website, RockyMountainATV.com today for the best prices, quickest shipping, online support, and largest in-stock selection around. RockyMountainATV.com. Get ready.
Now when the sun come up, I'll be there to say what up in the morning. Perfectly at peace, so I move along a bit higher. I'll be up and away, cause they gon' judge me anyway. So whatever, I'll be up and away.
Crack open a can of new Kickstart by Mountain Dew. The perfect mix of dew, real fruit juice, and just the right amount of kick. Kickstart your day.
RacerTV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATVMC, by Can-Am, and by Maxxis. Well, the riders have managed to clean themselves up after a very muddy first moto, and we're going to show you exactly how they go so fast.
Hi, I'm Dean Manchak, and welcome to Ballance Motocross Park here in beautiful Kentucky. I'm here today with two-time national champ John Natale. John, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
All right, for the Mountain Dew moment today, we're going to go over is how these fast guys get around the track on these awesome race quads. We're going to have John get on and demonstrate a couple of things just to give you guys an idea of exactly what it takes to ride these things at such a fast rate of speed. All right, John, show them how they turn these bikes. What they're going to do when they go into a bermed area. Notice how the rider gets off the bike, supports his foot here with his knee. He's got the pegs in, he's locked in here with his shoulders, and he's in full control. And what you got to think about is when he goes into a corner, he's got a centrifugal force holding him against the seat. All right, John, stand back up. All right, now when he goes to a rough area, unlike a dirt bike, we don't have quite the wheel travel they have, so these guys really have to hang off the back of these bikes and use their shocks. And you'll see him pushing on the pegs here, pulling on the bars, trying to keep that nose light. All right, John, next thing we're going to show you is how these guys jump them. He'll come up to a jump face, and as he approaches a face, the bike slams into the face. You're going to see him. He's got a nice crouch position over the bars, and when he hits the face, he'll leave the bike and go straight up and let the bike fly in the air. All right, that's for all you guys. If you got any questions, hit us up at the track, and we'll see you next time on RacerTV.
Good job, boys. And after this race, John and Dee could probably give us some tips on mud riding. You remember all the burnouts we saw on the starting line of Moto number 1? Well, now they're trying to clear the start of the mud so they can even do a burnout on it. I got to give credit to the teams and riders for even getting these machines and all their gear and everything this clean. And just a laugh right now, I think, between some of them. You saw Hetrick there, Brown, that's Natale and his crew. They're just doing everything they can to try to minimize the damage these conditions are going to create. Let's go racing in Moto 2. Good start, a better one this time for sure for the 20 of Upperman, who is known for his starts. He's the one running the helmet cam. There he is in a turn 1. Natale looks like he might have it. Whoa, and then he almost goes over the bars. A bicycle two-wheel ride through that first turn, and Natale does have it on his MotoWorks Motorsport machine. He has the SSI Decals Whole Shot Award. Let's see who's going to challenge him here. Upperman trying to get around Jesse Barnes. I believe that will be for second, as Natale is already, as they say in racing circles, making hay while the sun shines. Here is his opportunity to do the damage, while everyone else is roosting each other in the mud back there, second, third, fourth, and beyond. The Iron Man goes to work. And he's keeping that number 13 clean, although the challenge is coming, and I believe it is from Upperman. So Upperman has gotten around Barnes. He's up to second, and this begs the question, where the heck is everyone else that was up front in Moto 1? We're talking about the likes of Hetrick, Jeff Rastrelli, one of the young kids here, is in third. We're talking about Hetrick, Brown, and of course your first moto winner, Chad Wienen. There he is. I think I saw Nick DeNoble on the 123 in the mix as well, along with the 9 of Kramer, but your battle is for their number 1 spot with Natali and Upperman. They've already pulled a pretty big gap. Natali was 5th in Moto 1, so we take, of course, both moto scores and count them together to create one overall winner. Natali's going to need some help to get the overall, but he's got it because some spoilers in the mix, such as Upperman. We mentioned DeNoble, Kramer. Natali's got a shot at the overall, but first he's got to polish off this moto win. Amazing how well the track has turned out for this second moto. You got to give credit to everyone here at Victory Sports, Sam Gammon and his crew, for trying to clean this track up as best they could between motos. The battle's starting to rage here. Natali getting away a bit from Upperman, but behind them, it is anyone's ball game. You had Barnes there in the 91, still in the hunt, and then the usual players. Rastrelli was in there, DeNoble, Kramer, Wienen. It's going to be interesting the way this overall is going to shape up. There is DeNoble. He is 3rd. Kramer is 4th. Wienen comes through in 5th. So right now, Wienen and Natali would be tied on points for the day. And Natali would get the tiebreaker by virtue of the better second moto finish. So a couple of things to watch. First, Natali's got to hang on to the win in this moto, and it's not going to be easy with Upperman all over him. And Wienen's going to have to try to move through traffic to get the overall back. So a lot of racing yet to come here on Racer TV. Stay with us from Bowling Green.
Any engine, any season, at home, at the track, or on the trail. Amsoil, the first in synthetics.
The Can-Am Renegade 1000 XXC with the most powerful engine in the industry. The Outlander 1000 XT with a redesigned chassis for unequal trail riding. The Commander 1000 Limited, the most equipped, luxurious side-by-side in the industry. The facts say it's the most advanced lineup out there. But the ride says it all.
Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Amsoil, by Rocky Mountain ATVMC, by Can-Am, and by Maxxis. They call him the Iron Man. John Natali, multi-time champ of this series. One of the older riders out here, but certainly one of the most determined and one of the strongest. He's always consistent, and he's out front here in Moto 2. Behind him is Josh Upperman, and behind him, well, all heck is breaking loose. This is a rider to watch. Joel Hetrick on the 88. Pivotal positions back there. Chad Wienen has moved up, I believe, within the top 4, and that's what he would need to stave off Natali and still win the overall for the day. But Natali is still under heat from Upperman, and is that battle from 3rd on back starting to close in on the leaders? We'll get a view of it in just a second. I think it is. You've got DeNoble, Kramer, Wienen, and Hetrick all battling it out from 3rd back to about 6th, and that could change everything. Gotta give credit, though, to Natali. The bad start in Moto 1, we didn't even see him there, although we didn't really see much of anyone since they were all covered in mud. But he was able to grind out a 5th place finish, and maybe that will be enough to put himself in position to win this overall. You see him in the corners, exactly what we saw in our Mountain Dew moment, getting good momentum that allows him to clear this triple, clear this finish line double. Upperman has been making runs here and there on the Baldwin Motorsports Honda, but it has not been enough, and now Wienen has moved up to 3rd. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. That's going to make all the difference. Hetrick still in contention, DeNoble. Kramer looks like he's lost a little bit of ground late, and that has shaken it up. I believe it'll be enough to give Wienen his 2nd overall victory in 3 races this year. If you're Natali, you don't care. You just want to win motos, and it's not going to be easy because one last gasp effort for the 20 of Upperman. He is back on the rear tires of Natale. And Natale able to stave off that attack and even throws a hand off the bars to celebrate. You're just not going to pressure Natale into a mistake. He's just done too much. He's been here too long. There is Wienen up to third and still under fire. The 123 of DeNoble is right there. Best moto of the year, I'd say, from DeNoble. Hetrick is back in fifth. Solid for him. Sixth is going to be that number 9 of Creamer. This could all have an effect on the championship points, the way this overall may or may not end up. One last shot, again, for Upperman on the last lap. He's doing a good job of keeping the heat on. And the lap traffic might be the only chance left. Like we said, Natale doesn't often crack under pressure. He knows how to handle these conditions, and he is headed to the final stretch. He's going to double this triple and roll on to victory lane. Well done, John Natale. He takes the moto win. Upperman will end up second. Chad Wienen with a third-place finish and to grind it out with a bad start. He'll celebrate. There's a 1-3 scores. That'll be enough to take the overall win. As you look at your Mountain Dew results, Upperman and Hetrick, 5th and 6th behind Creamer. Let's go to victory lane.
Here at Ballance round 3, we ended up on the box, 3rd place. It was a rough weekend, super muddy, but man, the first moto was just a swamp, just rain coming down, pouring the whole moto. Ended up coming out second, which saved me because the second moto, me and Chad and a whole bunch that got together in the start, came out about last. I was able to push forward. I think I got the 7th, but 2.7 was enough for the podium, 2.6, something like that. I don't even know what it was, but we pushed hard. The Wienen Motorsports, SSI, Walsh Racecraft, Yamaha, backed by Maxis and Team Palmer, just pulled through. The Yamaha is just a great bike. The YFZ450R is just top of the notch. I can't thank the whole Yamaha program, the Wienen Motorsports, enough. Thanks to everybody, Fox, Maxis, Walsh Racecraft, Maxis Tires, Goldspeed. Thank y'all.
All right, did pretty well. Race recap, did well this weekend. 5th moto, the first moto we ended up getting 5th. The second moto we ended up winning, come away with 2nd overall. Not bad for the weekend. Got to thank the Motorsport DWT Motorworks Root River crew, and of course my mechanic Freddie and my family for hooking it up, and all these great fans for coming out here. Thanks guys, we couldn't do it without you.
All right, just finished up Ballance MX. First moto, we yanked a massive hole shot, and it was just, everything was clicking from there. The Maxis tires hooked up great, and that Molaskin motor just pulled right out of the start. And Paul Turner came this weekend, and he got that gate just prepped perfect, and ended up taking the first moto win. Second moto, we didn't get to go to the start, but we put it all together, and I was really happy with the outlook of the weekend, and ended up third with first overall. And big hats off to the guys at Yamaha, Wienen Motorsports at the side decals, and Walsh, and Team Baller, Maxis, and Fox, and big hats off to everybody in Sky Goggles. Thank you.
All right, congrats to Chad. Here's your AMSOIL race recap. Great start for Wienen on the blue machine. Well, it started out blue in Moto 1. He was muddy like everyone else by the end of it, but he was in the lead, so he's happy with that. Moto 2, great start for Natale. You know, in these muddier tracks, even though it had dried out a little bit from Moto 2, for the most part, passing is at a premium. You see Upperman behind Natale. He shadowed him the whole way, but was never able to get any closer than that. He put the pressure on. Natale never made a mistake. He never left the door open. He wins the moto, and he's up on the podium with Brown and Wienen. For everyone at RacerTV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.